Imagine a world where small acts of kindness create a ripple effect of support. A world where financial struggles never stand in the way of hope. That's the vision behind Community Pay It Forward. After a life changing motorcycle accident, I saw firsthand the devastating impact unexpected financial hardships can have on families. That's why I started Community Pay It Forward, to ensure that no one faces these challenges alone. Community Pay It Forward is more than just a single program. Through community impact and packed podcasting, people all coming together, we amplify the voices of those making a difference. And with Community Dare to Care, we provide essential goods like clothing, food, and school supplies to those who need it most, to the community, from the community, for the betterment of the community. With Community Pay It Forward, we support families, children, veterans, community projects, no matter where they are. We are not just providing assistance, but hope for a brighter future, not just for people in need, but for businesses that are out there struggling, trying to find a way. We have a plan, but we need your help to reach the next level. We're launching a crowdfunding campaign to raise $500,000. This will allow us to market the Community Pay It Forward program more effectively and to acquire a vehicle for delivering essential goods to families in need in our community, and enhance and strengthen our programs to serve even more people. And as a thank you for your generosity, we're offering special incentives for your contribution. As we tell people all the time, your donation, big or small, will help. It'll create lasting impact on our community. Join us in building a future where generosity and compassion lead the way. Visit our website today, communitypayitforward.us, or scan the QR code above and donate today. Together, we can pay it forward because no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. We challenge you to unite. We invite you to join us for a mission for healthy heroes. No matter where you stand politically, some issues transcend all boundaries. Hero suicide and mental health challenges for those who support our communities are topics that must demand attention, compassion, and action. We invite everyone, regardless of background or beliefs, to join the conversation during our 22-hour podcast, Mission for Healthy Heroes, on February 22nd, 2025. This event is not about pointing fingers or debating politics. It's about finding real solutions, fostering unity, and creating support systems for our heroes. No one is right or wrong, or we would not have this problem. Let's break the silence. Let's address the tough topics. Let's work together to bring hope to those who need it the most. Your voice matters. Your ideas matter. Together, we can build a stronger, more compassionate community. Will you stand with us? Scan the QR code and join us for a mission for healthy heroes. Kind of funny when you rush to put stuff together because you've got a special thing coming up, and then you watch it for the first time and you're like going, oh my God, how many mistakes could I make? That intro? Apparently, quite a few. Hey, everybody, my name is Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels. We are here for Footprints Forward, where we are discussing the upcoming event and all of the treatments that we find that are a little bit different. And this episode is definitely going to hopefully create a little bit of conversation. I guess I'm going to say hopefully create a little bit of conversation because we're going to be talking about a couple things that are a little wacky or a lot wacky, I guess. I intended on talking about all three topics on Wednesday night, but I simply ran out of time. I have taken this extra hour to in the beginning of this show because I wanted to make sure that we touched on the third topic. The third topic that we're going to be talking about live is virtual reality treatment. Looking into it, it's so interesting because you wonder, with the world of virtual reality and AI and all this other stuff, how effective can this actually be? Well, according to what I've been studying, it's been pretty effective so far. There's certain parts I still don't understand, and I would love to talk to somebody. If you have had any experience with AI, I would love to have you as a guest this coming up Saturday. And you can be a guest by scanning the QR code in the corner and picking the time that works best for you. We've got 22 hours. There's a spot for you there. Do you have experience with psychedelics as a treatment program? I don't want to just talk about popping. Okay. I just don't want. I don't want to talk about psychedelics as recreational use. I really want to focus on psychedelics as therapeutic use. I want to focus on ketamine for therapeutic use. These are uses, these are methods that are really starting to come out more and more because people are sick and tired of prescriptions. And I, in my opinion, I think people are more to the point where hearing what other people are going through, I think a lot of times you feel like you can't trust somebody. I think that says a lot about the way society is right now, that we can't even trust somebody's pain. And you see this all the time on social media and with posts that somebody calls out and asks for a little bit of support, and all of a sudden people are sitting in there berating somebody for, if you just go out and get a job and blah 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 blah. We can't right now, we're not even letting people be sick. We're not even letting people who need us. Well, that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing. We do need your help. We need your support. We need your, if you have something that you want to talk about. If you just want to show support for our heroes, our first responders, our country's heroes, our veterans, whoever. The QR code, there's a link to our calendar. You can get on there for a 15-minute spot just to come on and say, damn it, you gave up part of your life to serve our country. thank you. We'd love to have you. If you want to talk about some difficulties you've had in your life, your difficulties can save a life, because there are people who are out there experiencing something very similar to what you experienced. If we can get you talking about that, they can focus and they can see in their mind that there's some similarities. And that similarity could very easily be the solution they are looking for. Listening to what you did and what you went through, it could very easily turn their lives around. And we need to make sure that we're having this conversation. We will not, absolutely will not tell somebody what they should do. How can we? We don't know them. So for us to tell anybody exactly what they should do is irresponsible of us. Tell them what we did. I mentioned in the video that we're going to be watching first, I don't have any experience with psilocybin. I've never touched psychedelic mushrooms, never done it. I have had experience with THC gummies. I'll tell you about that experience with me, but I will never, ever, ever tell you that's what you should do. Oh my God, you should try it. I don't know you. Even if I do know you, I don't feel it's proper for me to tell you you should do this, because if I tried to push you into this, it could cause even bigger problems. But what I do owe you is an explanation of what I've found out. What I do owe you is a definition of what I found out. And what I do hope is that you're able to find what we found out. You're able to find out what we found out, and you're able to use it to heal yourself. So now, saying this, I want to thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, follow, share, do all those fun things. And please make sure that you scan the QR code. Join us this Saturday with our friends on Things Network. Look, Things Network has become a huge partnership with Community Pay It Forward. They have been for 4+ years now. Been great friends with Jeremy. We've been working together. We've been doing a lot of things. Of course, all of you on Things Network know my wife, Adrian, know how much I mean, if you only knew how much she puts into Community Dare to Care and how hard she works to try to make people's lives better. I mean, it really is amazing. So I want to thank Things Network for supporting us and helping us out. It is amazing. But we're going to play this video where I talk about what I found out with psilocybin and ketamine. When we come back live, we are going to be talking about virtual reality. And again, it is amazing. I mean, it's just neat because it's not something that you really have, at least me, I had never heard of it before. So please enjoy this. If you do have any questions, please type them in and we'll talk about them when we come live again. But right now, here's our discussion on psilocybin and psychedelics and ketamine treatments. Our discussion today is definitely going to come across in different ways. We hope that you find value in it. We hope that you find questions in it. I definitely hope you find conversation in it to where we can talk about this, because these are a couple ways that they are starting to go with non-traditional uh, medical or medicated therapies. We're going to be, after I play this video, which talks about 4 different therapies in itself. 2 of the therapies are in this video. But, when we get back, we're going to talk about 3 specific videos. We're going to talk about hallucinogenics, mushrooms, psilocybin. We're also going to be talking about ketamine, and one that I had never heard of until today, virtual reality, which I think is just interesting. And I've got a lot of questions, and I hope maybe you can answer them. And I definitely, I'm going to say, you know what? If you have anything to say on any of these, pick up your little typewriter and ask me a question. I want to know if you've been through any of these. I'd like to have some answers. I'd like to see what you have to say. Right now, look, what you got, okay? Here's a couple of the treatments that we've come into. What are you doing to help our heroes? Why do I ask? Because we want to tell people about what you are doing. With a mission for healthy heroes, our goal is to talk alternatives, talk personal preference, talk about success. What works for you isn't always going to work for others. We ask you to join us if any of these sound familiar. Do you run activity programs? Activities like art therapy, music therapy, animal assisted therapy, outdoor adventure programs, sports and fitness programs, gardening and horticulture programs. These programs have been proven to reduce stress and anxiety, boost mood and increase serotonin levels, improve social skills, and reduce feelings of isolation while enhancing self-esteem and creativity. They also provide a healthy outlet for emotional expression. What about a structured or heavily regimented program? These programs are designed to provide clear framework and routines that help individuals develop skills and stability in their mental health journey. Cognitive behavioral therapy, residential treatment programs, support groups with scheduled meetings, vocational training, and rehabilitation programs, or day treatment programs with partial hospitalization programs. Encourage accountability and regular participation. Help individuals establish daily routines for stability. They provide peer support and they reduce isolation. They also build life skills for long-term recovery while focusing on measurable progress. This next one comes with its fair share of controversy. Safe, controlled psychedelic treatments. These treatments use psychedelic substances in a controlled environment under medical supervision to address mental health challenges. Psilocybin therapy, MDMA, ketamine therapy, LSD microdosing programs, in therapeutic or ceremonial settings. The benefits are vast, including allowing patients to process deep-seated trauma. It improves emotional insight and understanding. It reduces symptoms of anxiety, depression, and PTSD. And it also promotes feelings of connection and empathy, while catalyzing long-lasting behavior and emotional change. Our final example for this video is mindfulness retreat programs. Mindfulness retreat focus on deep relaxation, meditation, and self-awareness, often in serene and natural settings. Silent meditation retreats, mindful movement retreats, nature-based mindfulness retreats, healing wellness retreats, and mindfulness for trauma programs. They enhance self-awareness and emotional regulation. They reduce stress and improve focus. They boost resilience against depression and anxiety, promote physical relaxation and mental clarity, and encourage spiritual growth and inner peace. Is there something missing from this list? Tell us about your program and all the good that you're doing, working to support our heroes and their battles with mental health difficulties. If you scan the QR code below, it allows us to discuss how working together will help so many. Please join us on February 22nd for Mission for Healthy Heroes. Healthier tomorrows for our heroes today. Okay, one of the things that I want to get across right now, okay, one of the things I want to say right off the bat, one of the things that I need people to understand, I am not promoting any of these. I don't know enough about them to promote them. Okay, I do know a little bit about medical marijuana. Okay, for my migraines, for a while, I was taking the gummies. I am not a smoker. I quit smoking. Oh my God, I missed my anniversary. Damn, I missed my 18th anniversary. 18 years ago, I quit smoking. So I don't smoke anything. Um, Partly because I was smoking 3 packs a day when I did that. But yeah, so I don't smoke anything. So I was taking the THC gummies. And while they made my headaches feel so much better, I just couldn't function. I'd want to sleep the entire next day. And it didn't matter if it was sativa or indica, whatever. I could not function. Do I think it's a do I think it I absolutely believe that it works for me. But again, if I'm going to try to get up the next day and I'm going to try to function, it just is not viable for me. So I'm not going to do it. I do not know anything about any of these other programs. All I want to do, all I went out to do today was try to find some information on them. What are they? What are people saying that are good? What are people saying that are bad? What are people saying that, do we really want to cross this road? Unlike a lot of things right now, I want to see both sides of the story. Okay. I want to make sure that we are trying to get to both sides of the story. If you want to tell us your side of the story, I need you to use this QR code in the corner. Okay. This right here is the code to get onto the 22-hour program. This right here, this QR code is going to allow you to sponsor what we're doing. And folks, we need your sponsorships now. Please, please, please. We today got a yoga membership donated by one of our wonderful partners, Anissa. Thank you. That is so cool. I'm really looking forward to talking to her. I believe I talk to her tomorrow, learning more about it. And I will let everybody know I will create a special video just for that. So, got books from Sean Ev Winnington. We've also got 3 for my cards, which, if you want to see what a For My card is, scan that. They're awesome. I love them. We've got 3 1-year memberships to For My cards that people can take and really up their business. Look, this is the 4th annual Mission for Healthy Heroes that we're talking about. It's coming up next Saturday, February 22nd. Start time is 4 a.m. East, 2 a.m. Mountain Time. 2 a.m. Mountain Time. Ironically, that's what time I started working today. Not because I was trying to get ready or anything like that, but it's because I had a dog with a gut issue. Why does it seem like my shows are really dictated by my dogs? I don't know. The end time is going to be 2 a.m. East and midnight here in the mountain area. We are honored to invite you to the 4th annual Mission for Healthy Heroes, a day-long event dedicated to serving those who served us. This year, we are amplifying our mission to tackle the invisible battles our heroes face, including mental health struggles, homelessness, reintegration challenges. Over the past 3 years, we've shared stories of resilience, heartbreak, and hope while supporting organizations that work tirelessly to improve veterans' lives. Now we're taking the mission even further because we are including first responders and other heroes. We need your support to make this happen. We're going to try to raise money for a couple wonderful we're trying to raise money. Yes, I do speak English for a living. We're trying to raise money for veterans who you are going to get to see a dedication to my Uncle Barry on next Saturday. We're going to do a dedication live to a man that lost him a little over a week ago, and it still hurts my heart. My heart just all of a sudden started hurting again. But you can see what they do. We're also going to be helping a current service person upgrade their house for their daughter who is wheelchair bound. Look, you can get a quarter-hour sponsor for $100, a full-hour sponsor for $150. You can also get a 4-hour sponsorship for $250, or you can be a name co-host for $400. So please help us make this happen. Psychedelic assisted therapy. This is an emerging research with substances like psilocybin. Okay, when used in a control setting, and I will be reading a lot of this. Okay, so please forgive me not looking into the screen. I will be reading a lot of this because I want to make sure that I'm getting it correctly, straight from the information that I found it at. Okay, when used in control settings, it can be effective in treating PTSD. For instance, a retreat organized by the Siren Project provided psilocybin therapy to first responders, resulting in notable improvements in mental health. A trial at Monash University is exploring MDMA assisted psychotherapy for veterans and first responders with PTSD. Okay, so that's a little bit more on that. Let's see. Some of the facts about psilocybin. Okay, and again, these are what I found. Okay, so I don't quite agree with all of the wording. Look, this says that it's not addictive. But that's just simply not true. Okay? Sugar can be addictive. You can be a workaholic. Anything and everything can be addictive. Okay? So saying it's not, I I'll go so far as to say that maybe it's not high up there in the addictive field. It's not like some of the harder core drugs and stuff like that. Okay, if you want to say that, that's fine. But I am not going to go so far as to say that it's not addictive, because let's be honest here, anything used in it, you can use anything too much and it can become addictive. Psilocybin is a natural occurring compound, and it's found in over 180 species of mushrooms. It does have psychedelic effects. Okay. And these are just facts. These are not positive or negative. These are just facts. It alters perception, mood, and cognition, often inducing visual and auditory hallucinations. Mm. The legal status is it is illegal in most countries, but it's becoming decriminalized or allowed for medical use in some places. Oregon, Colorado, and Australia are three examples of places where it is legal to go and for for personal use to get mushrooms here in Colorado. The therapeutic potential studies show it may help with PTSD, depression, anxiety, and addiction. It's got a plasticity boost, which suggests that psilocybin promotes brain connectivity with neuron growth. I don't know the science on that, but I would love to know why. I'm hoping that we can find somebody who can help us explain this. Minimal risk of addiction. Okay, unlike opioids or stimulants, psilocybin has a low potential for physical dependence. Controlled clinical use is being researched in guided settings with professional supervision. Long lasting effects, a single session can lead to improvements in mental health that last weeks or months. And there's also potential spiritual benefits. Some users report profound spiritual or mystical experiences. Insert Beatles joke here. Here are some of the falsehoods of psilocybin. It causes brain damage. No evidence supports this. Some studies suggest it may have protective effects, but there's been nothing that says it causes brain damage. It's highly addictive. Psilocybin is not physically addictive, though some may misuse it. I guess that right there is a better way of me getting my point across. Okay, maybe it is not physically addictive, but you can misuse it. And if you misuse it, look, you can misuse Tylenol. Okay, let's be honest here. You can misuse Tylenol. You can drink too much damn soda. I don't know what kind of idiot would do that. It makes you permanently psychotic. Rare cases of prolonged psychosis occur, usually in those with uh, a predisposition to mental illness. It's one of the. you got to take into consideration who you are, what you are. Okay. So it's just a party drug. While some use it recreationally, medical studies focus on controlled therapeutic applications. Everyone has a bad trip. Negative experience vary based on dosage, settings, and individual psychology. Look, if you are in a position where and I have witnessed, personally witnessed an individual who had a bad trip on mushrooms. And no, it wasn't this had nothing to do with therapy. Okay, this was all recreational, and he tried to tear his shower apart because the water on the wall made him feel like his shower was melting. So there are, there are risks, and that's the reason why you should be supervised when you're doing this. It always causes hallucinations. Lower doses can cause mild perceptual shifts rather than full hallucinations. It's the same as LSD. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. While both are psychedelics, they have distinct chemical structures.
See, I told you we were recording. Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Mushrooms are toxic and can kill you. Some wild mushrooms are deadly, but psilocybin mushrooms are non-toxic in normal dose. Some of the reasons why they've started to use psilocybin. There's a potential for mental health treatment. Studies suggest benefits for depression, PTSD, anxiety, and addiction. Alternative to pharmaceuticals. I think, this is one of them that, look, this is one of them that to me is a winning argument. It is a alternative to pharmaceuticals. It is so much better to put something natural in your body. Let's, without trying to be too vulgar here, but being vulgar, okay, the worst thing about a mushroom is it grows out of shit. Pharmaceuticals, it's just full of shit. Spiritual and emotional growth. And when that feeling of relaxation, it's in which, again, never in my life have I taken mushrooms. Never. But I know that from talking to people that relaxation can be like, it can be very spiritual. It can be uplifting. It helps rewire your brain. It can enhance natural plasticity, potentially helping with trauma recovery. Low risk of overdose. Unlike opioids or alcohol, psilocybin toxicity is extremely low. Minimal physical harm, no direct psychological damage when used responsibly. Again, we are talking one more time. We are not suggesting this for you. But what we are talking about is doing this responsibly. We're talking about, getting with a professional. Doing this properly. Making sure that somebody's there to help you through this. Okay? We are just giving you what we found. That's all I am doing. I am not saying do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying kiss a puppy. I'm not saying any of this. I am telling you what I've found. And that's because that's what's important to me. This one's a little hard. End of life anxiety relief. It has been shown to ease existential distress in terminal ill patients. Wasn't mushrooms, but my Uncle Barry was a pot smoker. He and my dad sat in my office a couple times, and I'm going to tell you, if you don't believe in contact high, jeez. I remember them sitting in my office one time, and it was right around Thanksgiving. And there was an issue with the Donald Trump. It was in his first campaign. Not campaign, his first presidency. And they were talking about how there was a problem with the Turkish government. And I was contact high, okay? And the news report came out that there was something on my phone that came across that Donald Trump had a problem with Turkey. And I couldn't read the story. I just remember sitting there saying, oh my God, what is this guy bitching about Turkey for? I was talking about the bird, the animal, for Thanksgiving. Then I ate one of my gummies, and my night was over, okay? My night was done. I was gone. I can see how the end of life, anxiety relief, I can definitely see how that would be attractive to some, okay? Potential for creativity and problem solving. Absolutely. You let your mind go. You let it see where it goes. Absolutely, I can see that. And microdosing popularity. I've talked to many, many people about microdosing and how it's done wonderful things for them. Some claim small doses improve mood, focus, and productivity without full psychedelic events. Reasons against psilocybin. Legal issues. It's still illegal in many places, leading to risk of fines or imprisonment. Unpredictable effects. Again, if you misuse, you are risking this. You are risking getting in trouble. Okay, you're putting yourself in danger if you don't watch for yourself. Reactions vary widely, and bad trips can be distressing. You remember, some of you, of course, remember that first time that you drank or you smoked a joint or something, and you were like, the first couple, we called them oh my God drinks. You would sit there and you would drink and drink and drink, didn't think anything was going until you stood up, and then oh my God, and you were done. This is kind of one of the things that they're talking about here. Lack of FDA approval for general use. Like them or not, the FDA does do a lot of work trying to work through some of the things that happen. Are they always right? Hell no, they're not. Are they always wrong? Hell no, they're not. But FDA is not going to touch this stuff. First off, psilocybin is federally illegal. We can smoke pot if we want here in Colorado, but if we get stopped by a federal officer, it's a crime, even here in Colorado. Okay, when I was a CD driver, if I got caught with marijuana in my system, it was a crime because it was a federal driver's license. So that's another thing. You really got to, you got to pay attention to your surroundings and what you're doing so you don't get yourself in trouble. Hello, dog who's sniffing my elbow for some reason. Potential for dangerous behavior. Look at that doofy looking guy. Yeah, he saw the doofy looking guy and he got out of here. Potential for dangerous behavior. Impaired judgment during a trip can lead to risky actions. Again, if we wouldn't have been there for my friend that night, who knows how far he would have went. He could have tore down that wall. He could have found himself in a lot of trouble. And it's not safe for everyone. Okay? That's kind of the purpose of why we're doing this. This is not for everyone. And again, I am not telling you to do this. I would not dare tell you to do this. I don't know anything about it. I've never done it. I would not do this. I would not do this. Okay? I just wouldn't. Medical marijuana, I have done. I would do it again. Psilocybin, that's not my bag. I'm not going to do it. Not me. Lack of regulation. Illegal sources can be impure, misidentified. And you could run the risk of poisoning from other fungi. How many times are we hearing right now about something being laced with terrible fentanyl, and that's what's causing a lot of these deaths? Personally, and this is a personal opinion, take it or leave it however you want. Personally, I think that was one of the more responsible things the government did by allowing marijuana to become legalized, because they can watch where it's being grown. They can make sure that it's not being laced and stuff like, it's not, it can be watched. You don't run into so much problems with this. Still, okay, ethical and religious concerns. Obviously, again, know yourself, know your surroundings. If you're going to try this, look, if mom's never going to talk to you again because you went and got stoned because you weren't feeling good and you wanted to try something new, no, that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. I'm joking, mother. I'm joking. Some groups oppose its use due to cultural or moral beliefs. Short-term side effects can include nausea, dizziness, increased heart rate, and confusion. And this is a great one right here. It's not a guaranteed cure. And I would go so far as to say that if you're doing it improperly, it's not going to be a cure. Okay, if you're not performing the regimen correctly, you could end up compounding the problems here. While promising, it does not work for everyone and should not replace professional therapy entirely. The conclusion: psilocybin presents exciting possibilities. Exciting, yeah. For mental health treatment, but it comes with risks and legal hurdles. While researching is promising, further studies and regulations are needed before it becomes widely accepted in mainstream medicine. Here's my question to you. Please reach out to me and give me your opinion. Go in the chat. Tell me what you think here. Okay? Here's my question to you. Should we look further? Should we insist that people look further into studies like these of programs like psilocybin? Is that something that we as American citizens should say, hey, you know what? Maybe instead of throwing all these chemicals at people, maybe we should try something a little more natural. Can we do some more studies with this just to see where it goes? What is your opinion on that? I really, really would like to know. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, tell people what we're doing here. Okay, we need your help. We desperately, desperately need your help. Next, we're going to talk about in which, you know what, we're probably not going to get to the virtual reality. I will do a special program probably for Monday on the virtual reality. I want to do some more studying on that anyway, but so I'm going to get to the virtual reality on Monday. This has run a little bit longer. This is fascinating stuff. By the way, if you would like a copy of these papers, email me, ZAK at communitypayitforward.us. ZAK. Wow, I'm Zach Clayton. Interesting. ZAK at communitypayitforward.us. And I will copy these off and I'll send them to you so you can take a look at them. Ketamine assisted psychotherapy, or KAP. This combines the use of ketamine, a dissociative anesthetic, with psychotherapy to treat mental health conditions like depression, PTSD, and anxiety disorders. Facts, and I'm just going to go as KAP from this point on. So KAP is ketamine assisted psychotherapy. Okay, so I'm just going to use KAP. Please bear with me. Facts about KAP. It is FDA approved for depression. It's and of course the first thing that they do is they give me a medication name. Why can't you people who name medications just call them Bob, Ralph, Mary, Potts, Mary Jane? Can we stick to that? Why are you doing esketamine? Spravato is an FDA approved nasal spray for treatment to resist depression. It's fast acting. Unlike traditional antidepressants, ketamine can relieve symptoms within hours to days. Disassociated experience. Patients often report out-of-body sensations, altered perceptions, and emotional breakthroughs. Again, these are facts. These are not benefits. These are not glorifications. These are just facts about KAP. Works on NMDA receptors. Unlike SSRIs, and I wish I knew what that was, ketamine acts on the receptors and increase glutamine levels, adding neuroplasticity. Like a monkey in a football. Can reduce suicidal ideation. Studies show ketamine significantly reduces suicidal thoughts, sometimes after a single dose. Requires controlled administration. And typically given through IV, intramuscular injection, nasal spray, or lozenges in clinical settings. It's used off-label, while esketamine is FDA approved. Many ketamine treatments are prescribed off-label for PTSD, OCD, and anxiety. Temporary effects. The antidepressant effects often fade within weeks, requiring ongoing treatments. That, again, these are just facts. That right there could be something that I would see people maybe having an issue with. Minimal addiction risk in clinical settings. They're very specific on that. Minimal addiction risk in clinical settings. When used medically, ketamine has a low addiction potential compared with recreational use. And the research is still ongoing. Studies continue exploring long-term effects with optimal treatment protocols. Common falsehoods about KAP. Ketamine is just a party drug. You heard this one before. It does have recreational use, but if carefully dosed and monitored, it can be very, very effective. It works for everyone. That just simply cannot be true. It cures depression permanently. I think this is another reason why I like doing this, is you're going to have people who are out there saying stuff like this. And it's simply, first off, it's impossible. Nothing lasts forever, works forever. Nothing. Ketamine is highly addictive. We've already talked about that. Patients lose control completely. Disassociation can occur if improperly used, but patients remain conscious and able to interact with their therapist. It's the same as psychedelic therapy. This is a falsehood. While both induce altered states, ketamine works differently than psilocybin or LSD. Only used for severe cases. It's often for treatment of depression. Some patients with milder conditions may benefit. And KAP replaces talk therapy? No. What are some of the reasons for KAP? And we've only got about 9 minutes left, so I'm going to try to hurry through this. Rapid relief for depression or suicidal thoughts. They've already mentioned they're having great success with suicidal thoughts. Neuroplasticity and brain healing. It does enhance neural connections, helping with trauma processing. Effective for treatment resilient conditions, which means it helps those who haven't responded to other medications. Enhances psychotherapy. Patients may access emotions or memories more easily under ketamine's effects. Makes sense. Minimal long-term side effects compared to traditional antidepressants. Side effects like weight gain and sexual dysfunction are rare. Could help PTSD and anxiety disorders. Some studies suggest benefits beyond depression. Fewer doses needed over time. That's good. Once again, we did talk about it a couple of minutes ago that, you know what, it may not work the best at first, so it may need extra. I think hearing that it may work and fewer doses needed, I think that's positive. Potentially safer than some of the other psychiatric medications, meaning lower overdose risk than opioids and than opioids. What are some of the reasons against KAP? Short-term side effects. Dizziness, nausea, disassociation, increased blood pressure. Ding, ding, ding. and confusion can occur. Again, if you're going to do this, do it properly. Not a standalone treatment. Most effective when combined with therapy requiring additional effort and cost. Long-term effects are unclear. More research is needed as prolonged ketamine use. For prolonged ketamine use, costs and accessibility. Not always covered by insurance, making it expensive for many patients. I think that's probably one of the reasons why, guess what? You go into the dark places where you don't want to go, places you wouldn't send your children. Risk of abuse and misuse in non-clinical settings. And let's be honest here, it's going to have an effect that some are going to find very, very attractive. So it's probably going to lead to, you wanting more. Limited availability. Not all clinics offer KAP, restricting access for some patients and potentially a potential for memory or cognitive effects. Some concerns exist about repeated use impairing memory or executive function. Okay, so those are just the first two. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get to virtual reality today. I will get to it on a special edition on Monday, but I think that was very interesting personally. I really enjoy that. Hey, you know what? Before we go, I need to do this. We need your support. We desperately need your support. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get better. We're trying to help more people. For this, we need to start making a little bit of money. You can become a supporter. You can support us by scanning this code right here, and you can become a sponsor for what we're doing. We need to get a vehicle for donations. We need to get volunteers. We need to get employees. We need to get smart people who know what they're doing, because the one guy who thinks he's three guys who can barely be half a guy, he needs help sometimes. So please help us out. Scan this QR code and you can really make a huge difference for what we're trying to accomplish. Imagine a world where small acts of kindness create a ripple effect of support. A world where financial struggles never stand in the way of hope. That's the vision behind Community Pay It Forward. After a life-changing motorcycle accident, I saw firsthand the devastating impact unexpected financial hardships can have on families. That's why I started Community Pay It Forward, to ensure that no one faces these challenges alone. Community Pay It Forward is more than just a single program. Through community impact and packed podcasting, people all coming together, we amplify the voices of those making a difference. And with Community Dare to Care, we provide essential goods like clothing, food, and school supplies to those who need it most, to the community, from the community, for the betterment of the community. With Community Pay It Forward, we support families, children, veterans, community projects, no matter where they are. We are not just providing assistance, but hope for a brighter future, not just for people in need, but for businesses that are out there struggling, trying to find a way. We have a plan, but we need your help to reach the next level. We're launching a crowdfunding campaign to raise $500,000. This will allow us to market the Community Pay It Forward program more effectively and to acquire a vehicle for delivering essential goods to families in need in our community, and enhance and strengthen our programs to serve even more people. And as a thank you for your generosity, we're offering special incentives for your contribution. As we tell people all the time, your donation big or small, will help. It'll create lasting impact on our community. Join us in building a future where generosity and compassion lead the way. Visit our website today, communitypayitforward.us, or scan the QR code above and donate today. Together, we can pay it forward because no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Introducing Shop, Click, and Pick, the simplest way to support those doing good in communities everywhere. We understand that shopping is a necessity, but with a slight adjustment, you can make a huge difference without spending any extra money. Here's how it works. Please visit communitypayitforward.us and navigate to the Find Your Partners tab. Discover our verified giving partners, which are trusted allies ready to meet your needs. Shop with any of the partners that resonate with you. Click a picture of the receipt or invoice, then pick the mission partner you wish to support and use their QR code to send the receipt directly to us. After that, all you have to do is sit back and enjoy your purchases, knowing that you've made a meaningful change for someone in need. Community Pay It Forward amplifies your business's impact by sharing the story of those who require your services, rallying support for those who need us all. Because no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Again, we are not talking about telling anybody how to live their own life. We're not going to do that. We're just going to tell you what we found. And I do find psilocybin and the use of certain psychedelics, the ketamine sounds interesting to me. That wouldn't be my thing. Okay. I'm not going to be a guy who's going to sit in a kumbaya circle. I'm not going to be a guy who's going to sit there and, I've sat on the couch before, sat in a chair before. I've got a really good friend in the program who's a hypnotist. I think that's interesting. And I've always thought about maybe giving that a shot. But then again, I also know that, she knows me and she's going to make me cluck like a chicken every time somebody says the word what? And all of a sudden, I'm just going to start clucking like a chicken. And I know she's going to do that because I told her that's one of my fears. And so she would do that just to make a point. I don't see Daria doing that. By the way, if you really want to try out some hypnotherapy, check out Daria Mann on the Facebook or on the website, communitypayitforward.us, communitypayitforward.us. I'm pretty sure that if we raised enough money, she could get me to cluck like a chicken and I would volunteer for that. If I could learn how to lay some eggs, that'd be great right now. We wouldn't need to ask for donations if I could learn how to lay eggs. We would become plenty set up if I could learn how to do that. This being year 4, of this journey, and having what happened to myself with my head injury and my family, losing my uncle 2 weeks ago today, it's really going to take on a very, very special meaning to me. Because this is going to be one of the more difficult ones that I've ever had to do. And that's on top of last year losing a very, very close family member to suicide. the reason I want to do this is because I wish I could have stepped up, and I should have. I I should have been able to say something to this person to make it better. But then again, I think that to myself. But here's the truth: I didn't know. I didn't know. It's not, we weren't talking every day as we had been just a few months earlier. Prior to my accident, we were talking every day. We were together almost every day, Monday through Friday. Monday through Sunday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We were on bikes with each other, riding through the community. Short 9 years after the accident, I lose her, and it hurt. It still hurts. We want to make sure that we're letting people know that there are different outlets out there. You don't have to take the end of life route. And I think we all understand that when we're thinking sensibly, when you're right there in that moment, we're thinking emotionally. And we all know when you think emotionally, you don't, there's it's right then, it's right there. Look, it's been proven that most suicides, they think about it for a total of 35 seconds, I think is what it was. When somebody goes through with the act of suicide, they actually put like 35 seconds worth of thought into it. There's not a lot of time to sit there and say, wait, let me go take a breath. Kind of like they tell you to do before you send a tweet or before you send a what do they call it with Instagram? A gram? That sounds terrible. Before you send a gram, before you send anything, you should really take a look at it, push it back, and say, wait a minute, is this how I want to represent myself? It's kind of difficult to do. Activity programs are another way, and we're not going to get into a lot of these right now, but I do want to I do want to put this in your head, and that way maybe you can start to think about some of the activity problem or projects in your community that you can suggest to somebody who's struggling. Things like art therapy. As somebody who used to be an artist, that one would drive me crazy because I struggle to create like I used to. Music therapy, animal assisted therapy. I would have to have assisted therapy because of my animals, I believe. Outdoor adventure programs. Us being in Colorado, that is one of the most. That's one of the biggest one. I know that we have programs where they take they take our veterans fishing, fly fishing. They take them camping. They take them to all these different areas, and it means something. John Vogels is working on a camp with veterans to where they can just go camping together and they can be there. It's a non-alcoholic camp. They can go, they can sit there, they can camp like they used to. They can talk, they can communicate. Sports and fitness programs, and of course, as I mentioned in the video earlier, gardening and horticulture therapy. So, but now I want to get into this because I really find this absolutely fascinating. And it is virtual reality therapy. Again, I will be reading. So, unfortunately, I will not be looking a lot at the camera. I will be looking down at my paper. But some of this information is information that I found through pretty extensive study today. And well, since last week, actually. And I wanted to share this with you because there are so many different virtual reality programs. I want to thank the Society for Virtual Reality Therapy, American Psychology Association, Forbes Health, and of course, Wikipedia, because if it's on Wikipedia, it's got to be true, right? But I want to thank them for helping to guide me with some of this information. So let me get that out there. Again, I also want to thank Things Network for powering this program and helping us get through and helping us get this out to people. What is virtual reality therapy? It's a type of therapy that uses immersed virtual environments to help individuals manage mental health conditions, neurology disorders, chronic pain, and phobias. By placing users in computer generated simulations, therapists can guide them through controlled and safe exposure to various stimuli, helping them process trauma, overcoming fears, or building coping strategies. I they they gotta they gotta get their voices in every damn show. I just don't understand it. I can see how virtual reality is going to help with certain things. And I cannot wait until I'm able to learn more about this because look, the study's not going to end when the program ends Sunday at midnight. Okay, here in the mountain, I'm going to find out more about these because we're going to continue to talk about them, and I really want to learn more. If you have had any experience with this, I beg of you to do me a favor, scan this QR code, come on and talk. If you run any programs like this, scan this QR code, come on and talk about it. Let's make sense of what we're going to hear right now. Okay? We need your help. Key components for virtual reality therapy: virtual environment, of course, computer generated 3D worlds where patients interact with stimuli in a controlled manner. Immersive experience, uses of headsets, motion sensors, and sometimes haptic feedback devices to create realistic experiences. The Obviously, because this is therapeutic, you need having a therapist guide you is going to be the most effective. And this is really one of them that, out of the three that we've talked about, I think this is the one that is definitely more personalized for treatment, for treatment areas. I really see a therapist being able to take in and create a more defined treatment for you. So, um, and there it is. How virtual reality therapy works. First, there's an assessment by a therapist. Then they design the scenario. Virtual environments are chosen or customized to align with the therapy goals. Exposure and interaction. Patients engage with the environment under guided supervision. Cognitive processing. The therapist help patients process emotions, reactions, and behaviors to experience in the virtual reality settings. And they finish it off with progress tracking. Of course, if you're going to use this as, if you're going to use this as therapy, you need to track the progress. So, I wanted to get into a little bit more of those. And so, exposure to the therapy, Um, it's used to treat phobias, PTSD, and anxiety disorders. Patients are gradually exposed to their fears. So if you have a fear of flying, they're going to put you in the tube virtually. You're going to feel like you're in that tube. You're going to have the goggles on. Deep in your own recesses of your mind, you're going to know that you're safely at home. But that fear is still going to be in your heart, in your head, because you are going to feel like you're in that plane. Public speaking. If you have a fear of public speaking and you're trying to prepare for a speech and you look out and you see hundreds or thousands or 4 people, it's going to make you fight through that fear, which I think is really important. Cognitive behavioral therapy enhances traditional CBT by allowing, and CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy, blah, 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 by allowing patients to practice coping strategies in virtual environments. Helps in treating depression, OCD, and social anxiety. We have a gentleman in the program who focuses on people with social anxiety. He had crippling anxiety when he was younger, to where he couldn't function in a group of 3. So, and he's been able to take and focus on that in a different way. This is one that I am really, really confused on. Okay. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to powder coat it. I don't understand how this one's going to work. I really would like to learn more about it. So again, if you know anything about this, I invite you to please join us, scan the QR code right over there, and pick a time on the calendar. We can talk about this. Pain management. And they do this by a distraction-based therapy for chronic pain, burn victims, and post-surgical recovery. Mind over matter. Mind over matter is really the only thing I can think of. And I say this as a guy who is in chronic pain due to my head injury. I don't discount anything working for people. You're not only allowed, but I hope that you find your own way of healing. I hope you find something that works for you. And if virtual reality pain management works for you, I really want to know. I want to know your story. This engages patients in relaxation, immersed environments, and reducing pain perception. So again, that's where it tells you mind over matter. Think about being on a beach over how bad your skull is killing you right now. Think about puppies that are not barking over the pain in your neck, which could be the puppies barking. Neurological rehabilitation. This is used for stroke recovery, traumatic brain injury, and neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. This helps patients by engaging them in exercises that improve motor skills, memory, and cognitive function. This is another one that is very, very intriguing to me, and it is addiction treatment. This simulates real world temptation scenarios to help patients develop self control strategies. And it's used in alcohol, drug, nicotine addiction recovery programs. I'd like to ask this question and I pose this question to anybody and everybody out there. I'd love to get your comments. Please use the comment button and tell me if I'm misguided here. If you are put into a situation, even one with the wonderful purpose of this to try to help you in a temptation scenario, can that not lead to that desire for what you are trying to be tempted away from? Okay, you're in a scenario where you're sitting next to somebody virtually with that beer. And I understand the concept of what they're going through. They're going to be able to sit there and tell you, okay, here's this person with the beer. Oh, that beer looks good. Oh, that beer looks great. It looks refreshing. How are you going to tell them no? I understand it could help you come up with a way that you could have that conversation with somebody. You know, I would really appreciate it maybe if we weren't here right now. How about we go to a park where there's no alcohol because I'm struggling? I can see that. But can you not also see how this could make somebody go, damn, that beer looked good? And get it stuck in their head, damn, that beer looks good. And gets them to the point where at the end of the day, they're like, that overwhelming urge takes over them, and that beer wins. That that virtual beer wins, and they end up going and drinking. I guess any and every form of therapy, you have potential for that to happen. But in this one, I really wonder, because you do have that stimuli of the cigarette, the beer, the cocaine, whatever it is. You have the image there. And I really wonder if maybe this could lead to a temptation that unfortunately becomes overbearing. I'd love to get your thoughts. Please, please, please comment on that. I would love to hear what you'd have to say about that, because that one, again, I understand what they're going for, but I think, again, in my own personal opinion, I think that one's kind of a slippery slope. This one I can definitely see. Mindfulness and stress reduction. It creates calming environments for meditation, guided relaxation, and stress management. I love guided meditation. Me personally, I love guided meditation. I am not good at self-controlled meditation. I'm terrible at chanting and mantras. I am so much better if I'm sitting there. I don't repeat what you hear, but I follow your voice as the leaf goes down the stream. And I follow that leaf going down that subtle stream water over the rock in the beautiful crystal clear water. I'm good at doing that, and it helps me relax. Really good at guided, not very good at trying to self motivate myself. This helps individuals with insomnia, high stress occupations, and burnout. Again, I see how that one would be fantastic. We did that promotion for a miracle of a community that cares. It was a, I believe, like 7 minute meditation video. So maybe on Saturday I'll take and I'll break that open again. When we talk about this again, I'll bring that out. And even though it's a little bit outdated because it's for holiday meditation, I think this would be a good time to maybe break that out and talk about it again. Autism spectrum disorder training provides social skills training by simulating real world interactions. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. And that is because we have had experience with people with autism. I think that could help somebody very plainly be able to go up and talk to people who they're not used to talking to. Certain people with autism, we had an experience with somebody with autism that his go to was to go and talk to somebody about sports. If the person understood that there was autistic reasoning behind the conversation, I don't see it as a problem. I I I think they could see it as somebody or as something that, you know what, this is a great this is a great opening for them because they can come up to you and they can talk to you about that. But if it's somebody who doesn't know that you're on the scale, if it's somebody who doesn't understand anything about autism or about what you're going through, their first response is going to be, "What the hell's wrong with this person?" So I like that this is able to be used to help them create conversations in other ways. How's the weather? Well, let's be honest, in a crappy eight, 18 degrees. My computer keeps telling me it's supposed to be warmer today, yet it keeps saying 18 degrees. My computer's lying to me. Military and first responder PTSD, and this, of course, is why we are here. Simulates compact, I'm sorry, uh, take two, simulates combat or trauma related environments to help individuals process past experiences. I think you're going to be dealing with a little bit of mind over matter here again. Go back to the plane scenario. We all hear about the veteran who struggles with fireworks. I think this is a good. I think this is the place where they're going to focus on something like that. How do you deal with your neighbor and their fireworks? What can we do to get you over that? This is used by veterans, police officers, and paramedics. I did ask to please come up with the scenario, and this is word for word the scenario it gave me. So, as they say all the time on disclaimers, If this sounds like your real life, this is not based on any experience that I know of. This was just this was a scenario that was created for me to use by AI. Okay, so John, a 32-year-old veteran, served 2 combat tours in Afghanistan. Since returning home, he has struggled with severe PTSD. He experiences nightmares, flashbacks, hypervigilance, and anxiety whenever he hears loud noises or sees situations that remind him of his deployment. These symptoms make it difficult for him to hold a job, maintain relationships, or even go to public places without overwhelming fear. John's therapist recommends virtual reality exposure therapy, VRET, to help him process and manage the trauma in a controlled, guided environment. The first step would be the assessment. John visits a therapy clinic that specializes in VR, assisted PTSD treatment. His therapist conducts an in depth assessment to understand his triggers, symptoms, and past traumas. Then customizes the VR therapy program using BraveMind, and BraveMind is one of the programs out there. A VR simulated developed by USC's Institute for Creative Technologies, specifically for treating military PTSD. John is then fitted with a VR headset and motion tracking equipment to create a fully immersed experience. The session takes place in a private, safe space, ensuring he can pause at any time if overwhelmed. I think that's great because we've all experienced that time where we continue to go through something just because we don't want our friends or our peers to think, he couldn't hack it. She couldn't hack it. She couldn't deal with it. If you're in a safe space, if you're in a place where you know that, you know what, this is too much, I can't, you can take it off. They can help talk you down, talk you through it. I'm pretty sure that there's probably a lot of times where that's where the talk therapy comes into account is right there. Okay, this is a point where this happens. Tell me exactly what you felt. How do you think we can get you through this? What do we need to do to make this not so traumatic? So, step 2 is gradual exposure therapy. By beginning the session by placing John in a low stress visual environment, such as a peaceful military base. The VR simulation is realistic but not overwhelming, allowing John to become comfortable with the technology and setting. Over the next few sessions, not over the next few minutes, over the next few sessions, the therapy gradually increases exposure to more stressful environments. I think it's really important that it's understood that's over a few sessions, not over a few moments or even in an hour's time. A Humvee riding through a desert, a simulated checkpoint, a combat patrol mission. Through these sessions, you're able to monitor John's heart rate, breathing, and stress levels. If his anxiety spikes, the therapist pauses the simulation and guides him through breathing exercises. That's cool. That's neat. Step 3 is emotional processing and coping strategies, stopping the simulation and breathing through it. And step 4 is going to be real world applications. After several weeks, John would notice reduced panic attacks when hearing loud noises, less avoidance in public spaces, improved emotional regulation, and better sleep quality with fewer nightmares. His therapist introduces real world challenges to ensure his progress translates beyond VR, sorry. Guided trips to busy environments like the mall, coffee shops to test, and exposure to military related content, such as watching documentaries without triggering flashbacks and practicing relaxation techniques. Step 5 is long-term recovery maintenance. After 3 months of VR assisted therapy, John has significantly improved his ability to manage PTSD symptoms. While he still experiences occasional anxiety, he now has the tools to cope. Virtual reality exposure therapy, John was able to confront his trauma in a safe, controlled setting and gradually rewire his brain response to triggers. VR therapy gave him the confidence to re-engage with the world, proving that technology can play a vital role in mental health treatment. So that kind of walks you through what an actual simulation would be. Some of the effectiveness and benefits of virtual reality. Highly engaging. Patients often feel more immersed and invested in therapy. Safe and controlled, allows exposure to triggers without real world risks. Measurable progress, digital tracking of engagement, psychological responses, and improvement over time. Again, a therapist can see the moment it happens, stop it, interject themselves, and interject a treatment right then and there. It's accessible and scalable. It can provide remotely. It can be provided remotely. I think that would come down the line. I don't see this as something that they would want to do, within the first couple days, first couple treatments. I think that would be something that would have to be down the line, or with somebody who's maybe not in a higher risk area. But it would be good for people with mobility, or in rural areas, or those with mobility issues. It's cost effective in the long run. It's going to cost quite a bit. It's going to cost a pretty penny to get it set up, but then after that, very inexpensive. It's a computer program. You get that computer program set up. After that, you know what? It's good to go. Some of the challenges and limitations. We just talked about it. The cost to get it set up is going to be expensive. Virtual reality, while it's come down in price, it's also gotten a lot better as things get better. Look, let's be honest. The first iPhone doesn't cost what it did when it first came out. It ain't nowhere near the iPhone 42 or whatever's out now, or whatever's going to be out tomorrow. And the one that comes out tomorrow is not going to be near as advanced as the one that's going to come out 6 months from now, and it's going to cost less than the one that comes out 6 months from now. So there is going to be a startup cost. This is one I could see that could be a huge problem for some. Simulator sickness, those who get seasickness, stuff like that. This is actually a very big problem when we talk about accessibility on your computer, because of a lot of movement, a lot of motion can make people queasy and uneasy. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I was watching something the other day and I actually had to turn it off. I was like, what in the hell? I got dizzy, sick to my stomach. I had to turn it off. And I can't remember what it was. Technical limitations requires advanced software and high quality hardware. It's going to have to keep getting better and better and better. There are ethical concerns, need for professional oversight to avoid potential psychological distress. This should not be implemented by somebody who doesn't understand, or somebody who doesn't have an effective plan in place. And there is very limited research with this on the long-term effects. I think there's probably very limited research on the short-term effects. We have to continue to study it. Some popular virtual reality therapy programs are the aforementioned BraveMind. There was one created by Oxford called Oxford VR, Limbix VR, Snow World pain management VR therapy for burn patients. There's also one called Psious, Psious. I hope I got that right. Psious. And it offers VR therapy for phobias, PTSD, and relaxation. What's the future of AI or of VR therapy? AI integration. It's going to grow as the simulations are going to switch as you need them to switch. Remote therapy, expanding telehealth services, augmented reality services, combining VR with real world environments and for a blended experience, and brain computer interface integration. And I know that one's going to make people go, oh my God, the government put a computer chip in my head. Calm down. Specific conditions treated with virtual reality therapy. Again, virtual reality therapy is used across a wide range of psychological, neurological, and physical health conditions. And I asked for it to break some of these down for us. You have PTSD. It helps place patients in controlled environments that replicate difficult times in their life. Used military and civilian PTSD to help individuals process trauma. And it helps to gradually expose, reduces avoidance behaviors, and helps reframe from traumatic memories. Due to the lack of time, I'm going to move on here. They've got things for stroke. Again, you've got addiction, eating disorders, or body body fatigue, thinking that your body is not where you want it to be. Workplace and performance anxiety. I think virtual reality sounds great. I think virtual reality sounds like a wonderful plan. I think all my paperwork for virtual reality just fell on the floor. My biggest concern with this virtual reality is we're not. I think I wonder if there are certain areas that it's being used to where it's not going to be that effective. Again, this is probably because I don't understand a lot of it. This is hard for me to say. Okay. I look at the pain. I look at the pain portion of this. That they're trying to use it for pain. And that I guess it kind of confuses me. I don't understand how it's going to work. That's not the hard part. Here's the hard part. I'm going to admit right now in front of everyone, in front of the world, I've been on pain pills for the majority of my adult life. I have been using tramadol and hydrocodone on a daily basis for well over 25 years for a bad back and then my head injury. I am, without a doubt, I am addicted to painkillers. My days suck when I don't have them. The thought that there's going to be something like virtual reality out there that could maybe help me get through some of this, in which it's hard for me to believe that something like virtual reality could get rid of my migraine headaches when not even the pain pills do that. Again, I've had a migraine headache for the last 10 years. Every minute of every day, I have had a migraine headache. And I just don't see how virtual reality is going to help me through a migraine. But it excites me that somebody thinks it can. I am trying to put together a plan to wean myself from the pain pills because I am addicted. But I am also one of those guys that I need to be ready to do it. Because when I'm done, I'm done. I don't mess around with it. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, I think it's time. I think I might want to. No, I need to be able to know that it's going to work and go for it. I quit doing something once. That's it. I'm not going to quit doing things over and over again. So it does excite me that there's a possibility here. Who knows? Maybe that could lead to helping me with something that is stress inducing in my life. So I'm excited to look at this and learn more about it. Again, that's the reason why, if you do something about it, come and join us. Who knows, maybe you can help me with my the cross I bear. Okay. I appreciate everybody taking and spending these last 2 hours with me to talk about this, because we're just trying to get you all prepared, because this Saturday is the 22-hour podcast. We need your stories. We need you to come on. We need you to help us. So the QR code that you've been looking at is the way that you can take and schedule a 15-minute spot to come on and tell your heroes how much you appreciate what they've done. The QR code that you are now looking at is how you can support us and make sure that we stay on the air, and make sure that the internet's working, make sure that we're able to take and help our veterans get through certain stuff. Like, who knows, maybe help them obtain VR goggles. But we need your help. So please donate if you can. Donate what you can, but help us out. At least come and tell your story, because your story needs to be heard. Your story can be the words that save someone's life. My name is Zach Clayton. I am the founder, president, chief bottle washer, all that other garbage of Community Pay It Forward. I have a great support system with Adrian on Community Dare to Care. And I'm the founder of the PAC channel. If you have a show that you think could be very helpful to other people, let's talk about running your show, adding your show to the PAC channel. I would love to have you on the show or on the program. I would love to have you be part of what we're doing. If you are about helping others through difficult times, we want to make sure that you get your word out. You can get a hold of me at Zach at communitypayitforward.us. That's ZAK at communitypayitforward.us. Or you can go to my For My Card, formycard.net, search for Zach Clayton. Again, I want to thank you all so very much. Please scan the Venmo up here. Donate what you can. Get your story told. Join us this Saturday. Get a 15-minute slot just to come on. Let me ask you a couple questions and tell our heroes that you support them, and you will support them through their difficult times. Because, folks, no matter how softly you walk, you always leave footprints. You need to make sure that those footprints continue to move forward. If you're not here, you can't leave footprints anymore. Let's work together to stop the senseless loss of life. Thank you to you. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Help keep us on the air by donating when and where you can. And join us again next week for Footprints Forward.